Our next guest on the show is Shelly Hoyt, the head coach of the Eureka girls basketball team. Coach, thanks for coming on the show. For you, I know looking at the record and looking at the outcomes, they all look sharp. But what is the coach's outlook on the season so far? How have things looked for you so far?
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think that our younger kids have really put in a lot of work and a lot of time um, to just maintain, I guess, maybe to say we've been without Brenna Rucker, our All-State player, and up through Christmas break, and they just came alive and did what they had to do, and uh, got us into an undefeated season going into Christmas. So it's been a lot of fun.
You mentioned kind of maybe a little bit surprised. Like, was that main surprise just because of the youth that you have on the team?
Yeah, when you don't have and of course we lost an all-state player in Laney Winfrey to graduation, but when you lose 90% of your scoring from last year, and that makes a huge difference. And I don't even want to say our younger kids. I just want to say maybe our players that were role players last year. So they did just an outstanding job of putting time in the summer and into the fall even on their own, and it's they've been uh, just did whatever they had to do to get us to this point.
So, what are maybe some of the things that you are looking for improvement on? I know you, like you said, kind of getting back to your full strength, but what are some of the areas that you are looking to make some improvement on?
Well, you know that we can always you can always improve, and I think just like getting Brenna back on the floor and getting comfortable with the girls again, and everybody just we want to make sure that it's everybody's doing their role. We don't want to change just because Brenna's on the floor again. She needs them, and they need her, and we're just better together.
Well, Eureka, since you arrived in like in 2017, this is a credit to you and your coaching staff. It just seems like you're always a consistent contender, whatever classification. So, like for you, a lot of times I think it's easier to do in a 3 to 4 year stretch, but like to be have that consistency past that time period, I think that says something to your coaching. Like anything that you can put your finger on what has made, Eureka such a consistent program that you guys have been able to do.
Well, I think uh, one of my things is I want to get kids to believe that they can do things beyond what they realize or they think they can do, and no matter where I'm at. And I think we owe that to them as adults to get them to see what's inside of them. And I don't know that that really happened prior to Coach Potachek and I being here. But I think just getting the kids to believe in themselves and each other and what you can do with a program that is truly unified. And um, along with that, you have to have good character kids, and we have good character kids. So you can do a lot with good character.
Any specifics on like how you get whether it's a 15, 16, 17 year old kid to get it to believe in themselves and just those types of things, anything that you try to do to bring that out?
We do a lot of competitive type stuff. So every drill is competitive, and so you teach them how to fight hard, and people, maybe this is a generic word right now that's being thrown around everywhere, but teach them grit,
Yeah.
because not every kid has it. And I'm a believer that you could say, well, not every kid has it. No, but every kid can get it. Every kid can acquire that. And I think just getting them to buy into that and seeing how hard that they can work. So I love it. I love the challenge of getting kids to the next level of their next level. Not I'm not talking, you know, post high school or anything like
Sure.
that. I'm talking their level.
Well, you mentioned that kind of that challenge. Like, what motivates you? Like, what keeps you coming back to coach year after year? Like, what's one of those any other challenges or any other things that motivate you for coaching?
I don't know, Cole. I love it. I love it. I love getting kids to. I love watching their growth, and getting them to just understand what's inside of them, and just showing them that, and exposing them too as well, exposing them to things that, as a when I grew up, like wasn't exposed to a lot, so I didn't understand where you could go, but I want to expose them to things, or help their parents, because that's ultimately it's their parents. But I want to expose them to things that they're going to say, oh yeah, I want to be at that level, or I want this, or I want that. And I don't know. I truly love it. I love the game. I love kids, and I just love showing them what they're capable of doing.
Who did you learn from? Any coaching styles that you took from, and like where did you kind of get your coaching instincts, if you will?
Well, I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, and we weren't exposed to a lot. And even when I went to college, really wasn't exposed to a lot. So when I took a head coaching job, but I was always competitive. I was very competitive. So when I took a head coaching job, I just went to every single clinic I could go to. I went everywhere. I watched the old VHS 8 tracks,
Yeah.
these championship coaches, and read a lot of books. And I really did a lot of self-teaching, and I would go to practices a lot. I was in Missouri at the time, and I went to a lot of K-State practices, a lot of whoever would let me in the door, I would go and watch them, and ask a million questions. Some of them probably got sick and tired of me, but Brian Aguilar was at K-State at the time, and I just drilled him over and over and over, because he was a defensive guru. And just people like that, just went and watched a lot of practices.
For you, I mean, all the teams that you've had over the years, like how easy is it to figure out, okay, this works for my team? Because a lot of coaches like, okay, hey, I have this philosophy, I have this, concept of what we're going to run, but maybe they don't have that same personnel to run it. Like how easy is that as a coach to, figure out, okay, this works and this doesn't, and this is what we got to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. One that I've really contemplated over many times. I think that I think it's okay to adjust to a season, and adjust to your personnel at the time, at the moment. But for the most part, you can get kids to play your style. And I don't know any other way to coach but my style. So I'm going to put kids in that situation and get them to be the best at that. And you could change a little bit here and there
Sure.
with your personnel, but for the most part, like, I want to run, I want to play aggressive defense, I want to get after it. And I can't even coach in a slow down mode. Like, I've tried against, like, sometimes you have to do that with certain opponents, I'm saying.
Right.
But it's really hard for me, and so I think that I know what I've done is I've adjusted my players to my style, and then made little tweaks here and there as far as what will make us the most successful.
Shelly Hoyt, the girls basketball coach for Eureka High School, joining us. And you talk about, those players, especially when you have the upperclassmen and leadership. Is it easy to let them, I guess, trust their instincts, and especially when they're out there on the floor? Or do you say, hey, maybe each time down, like, hey, let's stick to that game plan? Like, yeah, how much, I guess, flexibility do you give those players?
Oh, as I've gotten older, I trust them. In fact, we just had that conversation the other day in film. I said, sometimes y'all need to be honest, and because I ask them often, like, what do you want to run? What do you see out there? And I think our kids are really knowledgeable right now. We have some kids that are reading the game, so to speak, thinking the game more. And so I trust them to say, Coach, this is not working, or this is, this is what they're doing, and then I can help them make adjustments. But yeah, I trust them a lot more now than I did even 5-10 years ago.
Well, you talk about some years ago, even going back to, more of your beginning of your coaching career and like when you made that decision to move out to Hoxie, like what went into that? What was going through your head when your family, kind of made that decision to move out to Hoxie in 2001?
Well, um, those of those of those people that are in education know this, but you can't make a living coaching. You can't make a living teaching and coaching if you're raising a family. So my husband is an administrator. So where he went, we went. And as he moved up from assistant principal to superintendent, we made the move with him. And sometimes we got to pick and choose be a little bit more choosy, but sometimes we didn't. And he got a principal job out at Hoxie, and when I looked into it, I was like, no. And but that's just, it was a administrative move, and we made the most of it, obviously. So
Yeah, worked out really, really well. But in your opinion, like what did it take to get that program rolling in the right direction? Kind of the same concepts that you have at Eureka now?
well, the one thing about Hoxie, and I still think it holds true, is there's a lot of good athletes. They just didn't have the skill or the mindset behind it. Well, when I got there, I don't know what, before. I'm just talking about when I got there.
Sure.
And I knew that it also helped me having my own daughters, because when you have a kid like JC, Karina, that can show the kids what it looks like, you're way ahead of the game. And my first year there at Hoxie, I'll never forget this. We were in the summer, and it was we had a good summer because Jace was able to play. And she was like, Mom, these kids don't have it. And I'm like, they'll have it. They'll get it. They'll get it. Just keep working with them. And then we ended up having a pretty good summer because they had some good athletes. But then she tore her ACL during volleyball, so we didn't have her during the season. And that really, I don't know. It went back to a challenge of what can I get out of them. And then when she got back on the floor, then it was like right back to this is what it looks like. And so it always helps to have that, that one kid. And so when we went before that, when we went to Utica, there was some good athletes, but we had Tabitha to show them what it looked like from my perspective. And so, yeah. And then of course, you just, I had an investment in my own kids. So
Right.
every level, I had one at middle school. I had one in first grade. She was 3 when we moved out. And when she got in first, second grade, you're going to get a ball. And the kids went with her, the kids,
Right.
the parents, it was the parents that bought in, because you have to have parent buy-in. And we had some great parents that bought in, and they were rewarded through that.
I know the streaks are never what you're in for, as far as like that's not your end outcome as far as those win streaks are concerned. But the 107 straight wins, and then I know it's surpassed a few years later by Central Plains. But how much were you on watch when Central Plains was getting close to Hoxie's record?
A couple, no, I wasn't.
Okay.
Even before that, they probably should have broke up way before that. They got beat in an upset. I think it was to
Ellenwood, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they should have done it. But the one thing that I'm most proud of at Hoxie with that streak was if you look back at even like Little River streak, and then Central Plains, they all had Division I players on their team. They had your Emily Ryans, your Nikki Ramage with Pros Twins. They had some great Division I athletes, and we didn't have any Division I athletes. And we did it with a bunch of kids that just believed in each other and worked their tail off and worked played for each other. And not that they didn't. I'm not taking anything away from them.
Sure.
My goodness, Shane Cordell and Pat Stiles, like you're not going to get any better coaching than that. But I'm really proud of the fact that how we did it. And I'm sure they are as well. But I'm not going to take anything away from the kids that we had, because they did it without those players that go play Division One.
Well, I mean, both those streaks, relatively not that far long ago, but do you feel like those streaks can be duplicated now? Like, do you see any more of those dominant streaks in girls basketball?
I think it's Central Plains had something. Yeah, I mean they had a. I don't know. That's going to be a long time. Obviously, records are made to be broken, but that'll be a while. And who knows what will, where the game's going to go. But I think that'll be tough. That'll be tough.
I agree. Hey, Coach, appreciate the time and the insights, and best of luck the rest of the season.
No problem. Good to see you, Cole.
That is Shelly Hoyt, the head girls basketball coach for Eureka High School. That'll do it for our quality time interview.